Good evening, team. Cheers to a fit life. How are my loves doing tonight? It is Wednesday, August 30th. I need to read this to you. I have a You Are a Badass flip calendar, which I'm pretty much going to need every single year for the rest of my life because it's so good. And Hannah, you will love this. One of the best things you can do to improve the world is improve yourself.
I love it.
Right, like mic drop right there. No, but seriously, you guys, welcome to the team call. I'm super psyched. Okay, if you don't know Hannah Hebert, you will by the end of this call. Girlfriend is a flipping rock star. I love her more than I love lemon meringue pie, and that is a significant amount. Let me tell you what. So that is my one non-chocolatey dessert that I will eat no matter what, as long as it's cooked by my grandfather, because he always made me a very special lemon meringue pie every year. So shout out to my papa, shout out to Hannah, shout out to lemon meringue pie. But Hannah is actually Rachel Pelletier's coach, and Hannah was brought into my life through Rachel, and I'm so blessed. Hannah has been at the past 2 summits with us, so I've gotten to know her so well since then, and oh my gosh, she's just a joy to have in my life. If you follow Hannah Hebert on social media, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you can find Girlfriend, you know that you are going to feel uplifted. You are going to get truth. You are going to hear and read and see her as if you are having an actual conversation. She is the most authentic social media poster I have ever met, and she is just so flipping genuine. She's so real. She is so relatable, and she's like probably like one of the happiest people I know, but she's okay with being unhappy, and she shares authentically when she's not feeling the jive, and she also shares that when she's good, like how she's going to get back into it. And I think she's going to dive into that a little bit tonight. Hannah's got some big goals for this year, I am well aware of, and you're a senior this year, yes?
I graduated.
You graduated. Wait, yes, you graduated. And you know I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Well, I see you in Collins, or I'm sorry. You graduated. You're starting school in 2 days next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That was a brain fart right there. Like, completely. But I'm seeing St. Joe's in the background. I'm pretty much pretending I'm back at school.
It's like I've never left.
Right. No, I mean, when you're there, you're just there. So actually, yes, Hannah just got a new job. So Girlfriend graduated from St. Joe's, got offered a new teaching position, which is really hard for a lot of people to have happen right away. It is a big deal. That just goes to show you the type of character and type of person that she is. So she is going to be rocking her own classroom starting next week. And we purposely picked tonight because it's not next week, because you're starting school, and I know that. And so I'm just going to stop talking now and let you take over, Hannah. I love you, and thank you so much for leading the team call.
Okay, so first off, this has been on my bucket list forever to like do a team call for Team Cheers. I just love talking about this business, being authentic, my story, as many people as I can reach. Like, it just makes me like so excited. Like, my heart's like pumping because I'm so flipping excited for this. But what I'm going to talk about is a couple weeks ago, I was not so excited about life and posting. And I'm going to talk about like my journey through that, like inner battle with myself and how I kind of got past it, but how I'm always working on it every day. So after Summit, which was mid-July, I was like on a high on this business. Like, it wasn't a long high, but it was a high. I hit Success Club 10 like super early in the month. I had a bunch of coaches that were like super pumped about building with me. I was, starting Shift Shop after all like the results that we all saw from other coaches. I was like, I'm going to do this program. I was meal prepping, feeling great on life. And then beginning of August, I went to my first training for teaching. And all of a sudden, everything changed. I was in the training and I just wanted to cry because I had realized what I thought I realized in that moment was I cannot run this business and be a first-time teacher, like a first-year teacher. No way. I'm at this training and this is hard stuff. Oh, it's going to take a lot of my time. And there was no way that I was going to be able to do this. So first off, I already am creating this fear in my mind that one, hasn't even happened. I'm still a month away from teaching. And two, it might not even happen. Like I could be able to do both of my passions, teaching and coaching. But in that moment, I was not able to think that way. I immediately said, no way, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to be able to do this. So my business, I was no longer on a high. I was avoiding messaging people back and sharing love with them. I was feeling forced to post. I was told at my first Super Sunday, like the first one I ever went to like a year and a half ago, that a coach was like, there are days where you need to show up even if you don't feel like it. And I get that even if you don't feel like doing the business, like you still have to show up. But there's a difference between not feeling like doing work and totally in a transitional period and needing time for yourself and needing to just focus on you and kind of be present, like Jillian's live video yesterday. There's a total difference between just not wanting to do work and totally needing to do you. So anyway, I had this mindset, like, I have to show up to do this business. Like, I have to be there for everyone. I have to be happy for people. But that's not what I should have been doing. Because I look back at my posts during those couple weeks where I was feeling like in a rut, and those were some forced posts. And one of them was actually my Shift Shop Transformation Tuesday. And one, I was kind of upset about my transformation, which I said in my post, like I was completely honest that like, this is not the results that I wanted. But I read it back and it was so not me. And you could tell that like, I didn't want to post that. Like, I was like, no, I don't know. It just doesn't sound like me. It wasn't like thoughtful. It was just like, I just wrote it really quick and posted it. So at that point, I had my call with Lindsay, my weekly call. She's my success partner. So we have calls every week. And she was like, Hannah, it is okay that you're feeling this way. You need to take a few days for yourself. It's okay to feel this way. I listened to her and I was like, yeah, you're right. Still didn't feel like it was okay though. So I wasn't like really feeling that it was okay to be not okay. So I did take a few days off from like messaging people, posting, but I started to feel this guilt. Well, first I was guilty because I wasn't in my classroom getting ready because I was scared to start teaching. I didn't want to start putting together my classroom because I didn't want to not be able to coach. So I didn't go into my classroom and I felt guilty about that. But then I felt guilty about not messaging people back and posting and being present with people. So I was feeling guilt all over the place. Like no matter what I did or didn't do, I was so flipping guilty. And I still didn't believe that it was okay to be like this. Like I was like, no, this is not me. I need to be happy. I need to show up for people. So I wrote in my journal one night. I don't remember what night it was, but I said, I'm so scared of failing as a teacher and a coach, but deep down, I know I can do it. So I wrote that in my journal, and I didn't really think anything of it. Oh, then like I kind of knew that I was going to be able to do it. But then I read, it was like the universe like calling me. It was awesome. I read, if anyone hasn't read this, I hope I screw this up, by Kyle Cease. I don't know how to say it. Cease. This was literally what I read the next morning after I wrote in my journal. At the time, we hear people say things like, life is really crazy right now, but deep down, I know everything's going to work out. Or deep down, I know I'll be fine, but right now I'm really scared. Or deep down, I know there's a reason for this. We say those things as a passing phrases in the middle of stressing about something like a breakup or losing a job. But then we dismiss them and go right back to worrying about whatever is going wrong in our lives. But what if deep down is actually a place you can live? What if that part of us knows no matter what we're going through, everything is going to totally be okay in the end? What if deep down was the default setting in your life? Okay, well, I have chills talking about it right now because, yeah, like I read that and I almost started crying because I was like, I had literally just said, deep down, I'll be okay. But like, I just was like, whatever. And then read that and I was like, holy shit, I can really live in the deep downness feeling. Like I can truly actually get past the fears and past the stresses and actually flipping do this life in my deep downness, I'm going to call it. I don't know what else to call it. So I kept reading and we talk about why we don't just live there anyway. Like why don't we just live in our deep downness? It's because our minds are probably don't want everything to be okay. Because your mind's function is to fix things. And when there isn't something to fix, our mind is going to find something to create a problem with. So that's why we overthink. That's why we create problems that don't exist. Because our mind's like, oh my God, there's no problem. Let's just create one so they can fix it. So I was like, okay. So my mind's going to figure out things to try to fix anyway. So I need to get past my mind trying to be the problem solver in my life. So I kept reading. And he says, this is the question that he asks in the book. What if you could feel any emotion, including rage, anger, guilt, stress, and still be loved by everyone and anyone? So no matter what you do, and no matter what emotions you feel, what if you were still loved? It would change your whole mindset. You would take risks. You would go after your dreams. You would not be scared to feel angry or stressed or guilty, because you would still have those people that loved you. And that's all we want, right? We want people to love us, but when we start to worry that our emotions are going to get in the way of that, it just changes everything. And he also talks about how no emotion is a bad emotion. So people will associate anger and fear and guilt with bad emotions. But he says in the beginning of the book, there are no bad emotions because that's how we're feeling right now. That's what we're supposed to be feeling. So why would we associate those with bad emotions? I can't remember. He goes on and on about that, but I think I actually wrote a post about it. So anyway, once we start to believe that people are going to love us no matter what, the fears, the things that you're ashamed of, they go away because you start ignoring those. So it's kind of like a bully. So you have this bully who's picking on this kid, but if that kid starts ignoring it, he stops and kind of moves on to someone who's not going to ignore it. So that's the same thing with knowing that you'll still be loved. You start to ignore all those fears and the emotions that everyone thinks are bad, but according to Kyle, they're not bad. So after I read that, and I realized that I needed to share what I had just discovered about myself. I knew I had to share that the fact that I'm I'm angry that I'm not going to be able to do everything I want to do in 24 hours, that I'm scared that I'm going to be a teacher and a coach at the same time. I know I need to share that for two reasons. One, I knew I wasn't the only one feeling that way, especially having friends with a lot of recent grads. But I also knew now that people were still going to love me no matter what. People were still going to be welcoming, be supportive, and still love me no matter how stressed or how guilty I felt or how angry I was with what's going on. So then I started sharing and I started posting. And that's when it kind of clicked for me that it wasn't forced anymore. I I don't know if it's because what I read or because I was finally like realizing that all this stuff is okay to feel that way. I don't know, but that next day I was like, I'm going to post about it. And what I did first is I went live. The best thing, I believe, the best thing for your business when it comes to posting is going live. I don't think there's anyone that has gone live on their Facebook and been like, I regret that. Like, that was stupid. No. It is the best thing for you to do. One, because it's authentic. People are going to relate to you and your voice, in your, I almost said intuition, but that's not the right word. But when your voice goes up and down, I don't know. Anyway, your punctuation, is that the right word? I don't know. Just how you're speaking. Yes, inflection. Thank you. And how you move with your hands. Like, I'm super Frenchy, so like I'm going to talk with my hands a lot. Like, people are going to know you so much more listening to it live versus something that might sound scripted or might sound like writing a post. Like, they're going to know that you like reread that and you kind of thought about it. Live, like you can make mistakes. Like, there's no rewriting it. Like, it's just you. And people love that. People eat that up. So I went live. About it. I usually write notes, and I was like, nope, I'm just going to go for it. I also didn't care about going live on my feelings because I knew people, again, would still love me and would still support me. So it didn't scare me to go live and talk about what I was going through. And then I went live, and then like I said, I felt ready to post about things. I didn't feel forced anymore. And then that created more conversations with first-year teachers who were feeling the exact same way that I was feeling. People, I would, start conversations with people who liked it, who hearted it, who commented on it. But then people would start messaging me and say, thank you so much for going live and talking about it, because I feel the same way and I thought I was alone. Like, I was like, I'm so glad I did this, because it wasn't only for me at this point, it was for all those other first-year teachers and other people too, but I connected mostly with first-year teachers. So I was on a roll, so like now I have to look back at my notes. So once I finally started knowing that people would still love me for who I am, no matter how I was feeling or no matter how I shared my journey, I then started finally believing it. That's when I was like, you know what? I can do this, because I know that I can't fear something that hasn't even happened yet or might not happen. I can't feel guilty about something that I can't control. And I also can't stress about people not loving me anymore for feeling some way. And that is when every morning I get up and I say, now I can be a teacher and a coach both together in 24 hours, in a full week, in a full month, in a year. Like, I can do this. And am I going to fail? Sometimes I'm going to fail, but people are still going to love me, and I'm going to learn from it. So that was like a whole month's life transition for you guys right there. That wasn't like a 24-hour thing. I was feeling very down for about 2.5 weeks. And it just came around about a week ago. So it's been a crazy month, a lot of deep thinking and deep downness. But the one thing that I also learned about myself is that I thought if I was having a bad day, I could just read 20 extra minutes of personal development and I'd be fine. And for like a whole year, I was like, I'll just read an extra page of personal development and I'll feel better. But sometimes like that, you could read personal development all day long, and that might not just be enough. This is a time when now you need to sit down, reflect, have some me time, journal, meditate, affirmations, whatever works for you. because now you have all that stuff inside of you. You got to piece it all together for yourself. Because I think that's where I was lacking. I would just push everything aside. I'd read my personal development and say, okay, I'm done. Like, I never reflected. I never really connected things. I would highlight and make a few notes, but like, I didn't sit down and actually put it all together. And now I know. Now I journal. And now I actually sit down in my bed for 20 minutes after I read personal development and just sit there and have my thoughts together. If you would have told me a year ago that I would do this now, I'd be like, no, like, that's so like weird. Like, who just sits in their bed in silence and thinks? But it works. It totally, totally works. And I would encourage you to try something new. If something's not working, try something new. That's what happened to me. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to try it. I mean, and like Jillian said, like, I'm a very happy person. I love posting about my happiness. And I know that I feel great right now. But I know sometimes that I'm not going to feel great. And I need to share those moments because people need to see that I'm not 100% all the time, because that's going to make me more relatable for other people. So I'm okay with posting that I'm not feeling that great all the time. Before, never would have done that. So this whole month has changed literally everything. So that's all I have for tonight.
That's all you have? That was like the best stuff ever. That was amazing. Girlfriend, holy cow. Like, I don't even have like follow-up words for any of that. I was just like, yes, yes, yes. Like, all of it. So good, Han. Oh my goodness. A couple points that you made just like seriously struck home to me with the fact that you pointed out that this whole being able to talk about everything that you've gone through, this is a month-long journey that you are condensing into 25 minutes here, right? So like, I love that you share that, you guys, like, this takes time. Like, sometimes you don't feel good for more than like 8 seconds, right? Like, sometimes it lingers and you have to figure it out, and it's okay to figure it out. And oh my goodness, the fact that people will still love you even when you're not feeling up here is so like, that's like freedom giving. And I also love that you said that some people aren't going to love you anyway, and that's okay. That's like Chalene Johnson 101, right? Not everybody's going to like you. Thank goodness, because it gets them out of your energetic field so you can focus on the people that do. And the people that do love you are going to love you anyway. Oh my gosh. Hannah, you need to just like, you need to write a book. I don't know who this Kyle person is, but you need to write a book. That's all I have to say about that.
Like, it's so funny that these personal development, like, authors are always like, I never thought I'd be writing a book about personal development. I'm like, I feel that way.
Yeah.
Like,
that's me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And I do love that you said, Rachel and I have had this conversation before as well, like, that it's not just about reading personal development, it's about applying it. It's about like, oh wait, here's that crappy moment in my life that I keep bumping into this roadblock for. Maybe I should apply some of what I'm reading and taking into this moment so I can grow past it. Like, that is, we all like reading the uplifting things, but when it comes down to it, what good is it going to do if it doesn't change anything for you?
I started noticing that my conversations with people also changed when I started applying personal development to my life, because then, like, it wasn't just like me talking, it was like me giving content and me actually loving people. And like when someone would be like, I don't know, like, they're down about something, I'd be like, oh, I know what to say. I know what to say now. Like, it just changed the way I interacted with people, because I was fixing me first, like actually really fixing me and helping me out, and then it would literally help other people.
Oh my gosh. Who else just wants to give Hannah like the biggest squeeze right now? Like, oh my gosh. Love you. Who's got questions or comments or whatever for Hannah? There's Tori again. Tori is breaking the rules tonight. She is here for her girl. That's all I have to say.
I love you, Tori.
I love you too, Hannah. I wanted to hop on for a little bit of it. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, this is my team. Like, I just freaking love you guys so much. Who's got questions, comments? Rach, what do you have to say? You must be sitting there beaming with pride. This is your coach, your bestie.
I know. I feel so lucky that she's in my life, and she teaches me more than I would have ever expected. And I've had an off month, but very positively. I got engaged at the beginning of the month, and it totally threw everything off, which is such an amazing problem to have. And then we decided we put an offer in on a house, and then it didn't work out, and then we were planning a wedding and school starting. So I feel I can totally relate to Hannah's message. And I think that a difficult thing for everyone in this business is I love Beachbody, but life. And but learning to do life and Beachbody has been a big struggle for me always. So I think taking a new perspective and seeing, okay, this didn't work. What am I doing next? What did work about it? And, if that's journaling in your bed for 20 minutes, or if that's just doing 10 more minutes in the morning of whatever, meditation or yoga, like you're saying, just trying new things to see what's working for you. And I think, I just think, Hannah, what's working for you is working, and it might not work for everyone, but it's a place to start. You know what I mean? So I just love it. I love it.
I love it too. And one thing that I love recognizing is that the more and more you get into the space that we're in, right? Within Beachbody, but within the betterment realm, right? We're all in this to level up our lives. And I will say that that's true for people that are just following their passions no matter what it is. But with Beachbody specifically, we have tools that give people the opportunity to take hold of such goodness for themselves. So it's interesting that as you get more into that world, as you read more, as you learn from more people, as you start to relate to more people, you start to hear things over and over. Okay, a lot of people are talking about meditating, right? Or a lot of people are talking about journaling, and I've just pushed that off, or I've dismissed that for so long, but it's gotta be working if all these people are talking about it, right? It's one thing to hear one-offs from people oh, I started doing this, and then you can go, oh yeah, that would never be for me. But there comes a point that you're I gotta try something, right? I have to try something new. Maybe that won't be for me, but if that many people are talking about X, Y, and Z options to up level in their entire lives, I should probably hop on that boat. I had that thought this morning as I was doing my own journaling, because I've been following people for years that journal, and I'm I've been doing my own business now for 3.5 years. Maybe I should hop on that boat. If I need to take it to the next level, maybe I need to go there. So I think, Hannah, your messages tonight have been so intuitive and so deeply wise, actually, very deeply wise.
Oh, thanks, Julian.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling the wise sparkles fall all over. We just heard from Hannah's inner guru, ladies and gentlemen. There's no gentleman on here. Michael's upstairs. He's listening.
It's funny you're talking about trying the journaling aspect, because in personal development books all the time they say, okay, stop what you're reading and try this exercise. Well, I never did them, so I was whatever. But in this, I hope you screwed this up. Kyle, he's a comedian too, so he's funny throughout the book. And he's okay, do this. And he's a couple sentences later, he goes, I know you haven't done it yet. Just stop what you're reading and really do it. And then a paragraph later, he goes, okay, so since you probably still haven't done this activity, here's 2 blank pages and actually do it. So that's when I was holy shoot, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And the journaling actually started. So it's funny that people are just whatever.
Yeah.
I don't need And then someday you're just like, okay, I'll just do it. And I think that's a huge game changer because that's going to change from just reading it to actually applying it to your life.
Yes, I'm so glad you shared that. Will you share that book into the team page? I think that would be a really cool thing. I think a lot of people would like that book. And I will tell you guys, you've heard me talk about this a number of times, but May Cause Miracles by Gabby Bernstein is the book that helped Jillian change her flipping life this year. And it is the book that I just refused to do. Do you know how long Missy was telling me to do that book, to read that book? Months and months and months. And I wouldn't do it. I refused to do it because it was a workbook. And I wanted to just read for so long. Until January, I was like, all right, I'm doing this. And I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work part of the workbook. So if nothing else, maybe this is your message, right? Like maybe this is the next thing that you do because it's huge. Obviously, Hannah is living amazing proof of that. Like when you're not only taking it in, but you're doing the work and putting it back out, miracles happen.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So Hannah, when you talk about journaling, and I don't think you mentioned this, but if you did, forgive me. When you're journaling at night, are you journaling like based on the assignments your book is giving you? Or are you just like dumping out like your feelings for the day? Are you trying to like focus in on one thing? Like where are you kind of focusing your journaling strategies?
I definitely started journaling because I wanted to like reflect on what I was reading. That's how it started because I wanted to write posts about it. So it was kind of like I need to figure out things to write about. So I would read in the morning, journal right after, and then write my post. So it's kind of like one after the other, one right after the other. Now I still stick to like totally journaling about what I'm reading. I guess I kind of connected to my life because that's what I'm going to write about in post. But I don't like just pour my whole life. It's mostly focused on what I'm reading about. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
I had that very same question that I asked into the my business coaches group, and because like we've got some like heavy duty journalers in there, and I was like, okay, I know I feel connected. I know I feel best, and I know I feel best connected to myself when I'm writing. I just do. That's always been me. But like, where do you start? Like, do you follow an outline? Like, I just like the rules of stuff. And a lot of people said, okay, if you need some guidance, then start with gratitudes, then ask for help, and just let your mind go. Like, even if you start with gratitudes, it will lead into the next step for you, like the next layer. Or you could also say, I'm going to just write for 3 pages. A lot of the time, I know that I say, I'm going to write for 10 minutes, but actually saying, I'm going to fill 3 pages of stuff helped me think a little bit differently and helped my mind to like release stuff. So it wasn't me against the clock. It was literally, which I think is kind of like a lack, like hurry up mentality. It was an abundance mentality of fill these pages with whatever comes. And it just allows for a little bit more freedom. So hopefully that's helpful because I just learned that.
I like that because I sometimes was like, okay, I'm gonna do it for 10 minutes, and I kept looking like, oh, I wonder when like I'm gonna be close to being done.
Yeah, 6 minutes and 30 seconds have gone by. Better write something good down. But yeah, I get it. Any other questions for Hannah, you guys? You beautiful ladies. Hannah, last words for tonight. Like, what do you got for us? End this however you want to, girlfriend, because you are a superstar. This is your call.
Okay, so last final words is when you're in a rut, first remember that it is okay because people are still going to love you no matter flipping what. Doesn't matter what you're feeling because no emotions are bad emotions. And just share that with people because those people are going to want to know what's going on. They're following you and they're going to still love you. And I love you guys.
And we love you. Oh my gosh, I love that so very much. Okay. I am so grateful for you. Thank you so much for sharing your goodness tonight. I think that everybody needed this call. This was so uplifting. This was so energetic. This was so pointed. This was so, a lot of takeaways from this too. This wasn't just a rah-rah. Like, I learned a lot from this call. So thank you for that. Ladies, I'm going to give you free reign to reach out to Hannah with questions, follow-up questions on this, and tell your teams they got to listen to this replay. I will post it in the team page ASAP. Okay? Hannah, thank you. You're amazing. Team, cheers to a fit life. I love you so much. To all your teachers who have gone back, who are going back, good luck. You're amazing. You can be both. You can be both. Because it's you. It's all of you. There's no like siloing the person that you are. You get to intertwine all of those things that make you beautifully you. You can do it. We're here for you. Come to the team page if you need us. Send me a message and I'll send you a voice memo telling you how awesome you are. And I just hope you guys have the best night ever. Love you. Bye, guys.